Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Serena's Soapery. Today's soap is going to be an ocean, seaside, beach themed type of soap. It's actually inspired by this picture I found on Pinterest, and I'm not going to be trying to recreate this photo by any means. I'm just taking inspiration from it and doing my own twist on it. So I've already gone ahead and made the Starfish embed for it, and we got a couple of scrap pieces out of that as I was experimenting with the color, but I ended up using Ye Old Neon red colorant from TKB Trading, so that is what is used to color the Starfish, so let's go ahead and unmold it. So here I'm just going to unmold the scrap pieces first. And these will go in our scrap bag for a future scrap soap. And now let's go ahead and unmold the Starfish. This turned out great. I'm gonna have to cut it down because I'm using a smaller loaf mold, but I think it's gonna work out great. So let's go ahead and start on the sandy layer. I have mostly clear soap and a couple of cubes of white soap in here. So I'm just gonna chop down my starfish embed to fit into the mold. So I'm just gonna chop off both of the ends. So let's go ahead and mix up the color for the sand portion. So I'm going to pour a little bit of this alcohol into this cup here. And we're going to use Honey Blush Mica by Nurture Soap. Now, some other great additives that you could add to a sandy layer of soap could be walnut hull powder or loofah powder, anything that has a slight bit of exfoliation, and it'll add some variety to the soap with how it looks, like it'll be kind of speckled. I didn't have any of that, so I'm just coloring the soap to make it look like sand. And I wanted to bring out some more of the yellow tones, so I went ahead and added some Lala Mica from Mad Micas. I think the color on that looks great, so we can go ahead and get to pouring. I'm going to actually use one of my scrap soaps to sort of prop up one side of the mold. So I'm going to pour a base layer down first, and I'm spritzing the top with rubbing alcohol to pop those bubbles. And as I go to put my starfish embed in, I realize that it's a little bit too big for my mold. But not to worry, I do some quick surgery here and just cut off one of the ends really quickly. And I just spritz it with rubbing alcohol. That helps it adhere to the soap around it. And then I can put it back into the mold and finish pouring. And I honestly don't care if this layer or if any of the layers are completely flat. Honestly, I want them to be a little bit messed up because I think it'll add to the realism of, a beachside shore of some sort. In fact, I'm actually going to come back in a few minutes and make some indentations on this soap so it's a little bit wavy. So I've waited about 15 minutes here for the soap to harden up mostly, and I think that was a little too long because it was a little bit hard. But I'm just taking my thumb and pressing down. This is a very easy way to get wavy layers in soap, but I think I let it sit too long because it's kind of hard, so I had to use the end of the spatula. So my next layer is going to be a thin white layer, It's sort of supposed to represent the foamy part of where the sea meets the shore. And I'm only going to wait about 5 minutes before I make my next layer. So this next layer is going to be Caribbean Blue by Nurture Soap. I want the two layers to sort of mix together. So as I'm adding the color here, as I mix it up, I notice that it's not as opaque as I would like it to be, so I decide to add more mica. And the color is finally where I want it to be, so now we can start pouring. But first I want to break up that white layer a little bit so the two layers can really mix together and adhere well and really make those swirly kind of designs that you see in the ocean. So now I'm just going in with a chopstick and swirling it up even more. And now for the next part of this pour, I'm breaking the fall of the soap with the spatula because I want this next part of the soap to sort of sit on top of that white layer. I don't want the white to go all the way to the top of the soap. And for my final layer, I'm mixing up a darker blue color. This is Twilight from Mad Micas. As the deeper you get into the ocean, you know, the darker it gets. So that's kind of what I was going for here with the ombre blue effect. So I realized here that I wanted the blue tones to kind of be the same, so I decided to add some Caribbean blue mica just to tie that lighter blue tone that's in the bottom of the soap up to the top. So it all kind of looks like it's from the same ocean, you know? So I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with my white layer and just break up that bottom layer of soap so everything adheres well and swirls well. And again, I'm using my chopstick to sort of break up the soap, get it swirling, and sort of bring up that bottom layer up to the top so it all swirls together. And I do one last spritz of rubbing alcohol to pop all the bubbles, and it is time to cut it. I'm so excited for this cut. It turned out so good. I can't wait for you guys to see it. And there it is. Isn't that awesome? I wish the white was a little bit more swirled in, but overall, I'm very happy with how it turned out. It looks like there was a tiny piece of unmelted soap in there, but honestly, I don't really care. I still think it looks great. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you next time.